We are all colorful painted ceramic cups, sitting down on a patterned tablecloth at a tea party. Every day, we're being poured things into us by other people, whether it's their wishes, their love, their affection, their money, and so on. Hello, my name is Kaya, and today I will be delivering a speech about just how important mental health is. I have a very close relationship with a certain relative of mine. They were somewhat considered to be exceptional, put together, and even ingenious by the people around me. But lately, they have been acting differently for the past few years. They become lazy, inattentive, and irresponsible. And everything kind of just went crashing down on them. From tables full of trophies, certificates, and astonishing grades, to tables full of trash, unorganized paperwork, and a report card that's strayed drastically from what they usually get. I watch as they get criticized each time they leave their room. I hear their classmates looking down on them. And I hear everyone around them growing disappointed in how they turn out to be. Society switched from glorifying them to belittling them the second they make a mistake. I watch as my relatives slowly get worse over the years. They neglect their self-care, refuse to go out, experience constant mood swings, and lock themselves in their room, doing nothing but sleeping for hours on end. I've slowly grew accustomed to their unusual behavior. I've always thought that they were just too lazy to make an effort for anything in their life. That is until a few months ago, they were diagnosed with ADHD and a few other depressive symptoms. Like everyone else, they were a ceramic cup. And drop by drop, every expectation, every demand went in and piled up in them. They held it together for years until they couldn't. Finally, it broke. And nobody saw it coming. Nobody knew why they turned out to be like this. Because they didn't know what was happening to them on the inside. Cases like this happen all around the world. According to the data released by the World Health Organization, WHO, over 1 billion people are living with mental disorders. Mental health, by definition, is a state of mental well-being that enables someone to cope with the stresses of life, learn and work well, communicate, and even contribute to their community. Mental health and physical health are experienced differently from one person to the next and influence most aspects of a person's life. Mental disorder adds to the risk of developing diseases, both communicable and non-communicable, as well as the risk of unintentional and intentional injury. But at the same time, many physical health conditions can increase the likelihood of developing a mental disorder. You can be safe physically, but it doesn't mean you can be safe mentally. A mental disorder is a condition that impacts a person's emotion, mindset, and actions, and could make it difficult to function normally in a daily life. It's not only feeling occasionally upset or angry or anxious. It's a feeling that grows to become such a disturbance that interferes with relationships, routines, and sometimes self-image. There is no single cause of mental disorders, only a combination of factors, such as biological imbalance, genetics, physical health, trauma and life experiences, and an unstable environment. We live in a world where it's so easy to obtain these kind of information. We are able to learn just how important mental health is. But if it's so important, why do so many people still suffer in silence? Why are mental health services underfunded, stigmatized, and hard to access? We can't stay like this, calling mental health important and treating it like an afterthought. Multiple cases of poor mental health treatments exist, like the practice of pasong in Indonesia, which is locking up a person who has mental illness. A study in 2018 found that 80% of families with mentally ill members used restrictive restraint, or confinement. Stigma, the lack of care, and expensive or hard to access mental health facilities contribute to this. Mental disorders are not a sign of weakness or a flaw in a person. They are medical conditions with psychological, biological, and social roots, just like diabetes or heart disease. And like those conditions, they can be treated and managed. If we want a world where everyone's problems are acknowledged, we need to start taking actions on improving the system that was framed as treatment for the mentally ill. Mental disorders are often criminalized or looked down upon in too many communities. People who are struggling with mental disorders usually end up in prison instead of a hospital, or a mental institution without any possibility of recovery. We could fix this by training nurses, doctors, and police officers to identify common mental disorders so that we could direct them to provide care instead of confinement and jail. We could build programs and campaigns in schools educating the students to be more aware of how crucial it is to take care of themselves by contributing input from people who have experienced mental disorders and have been treated. That way it feels safe, genuine, and leaves a longer lasting impact on the students. And the treatment for mental disorders shouldn't be expensive either. Healing shouldn't be a luxury. No one should have to choose between paying rent and getting help. Change doesn't require millions of dollars. It requires prioritizing people over profit. Another ceramic cup on the table breaks. But this time, we won't ridicule it for being this way, nor will we throw them away in the dumpster. We will tend to them, glue their pieces back softly, and help them recover to the best version of themselves. Thank you very much.